Hey, good morning. This is Shantae. I'm at my receiver, actually. I'm just, I'm not one to put up things on YouTube about the trucking. I used to put other stuff up. I used to put music up, or when I was doing the Jewish thing, I used to put up, religious posts. Um, However, I never really thought about becoming a YouTuber for trucking or whatever. That's not what this is. I'm just at the ship. I'm just at the receiver and a little bit bored. So I just thought, hey, why not just give a shout out to everybody, um, and let you all know I'm doing well. I feel great. Um, um, this is the best decision I've ever made for myself. To take care of myself financially, and basically it's like having a mobile home until I go on home time. So I'm driving around and something that's being paid for and earning money, hopefully. Every week is different. Every load is different. Every assignment is different. So one week I may make quite a good amount, and one week I might be negative. So either way, it doesn't matter. I'm just so glad that I made this decision for myself. And I just wanted to say hi, because I know I post pictures and I say things, but I never show myself. That's partly because of all these skin issues I have. But since the sun's out, it doesn't really show. I know that's horrible, right? But since the sun's out, it doesn't really show all the defects on my face. But yeah, doesn't really show all the defects on my face. But so I thought, hey, just make a video. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say hi. Let y'all know I'm alive. I'm doing good. And also, I wanted to say this. If you are a female and you have a Class A and you want to drive and you've been discouraged from driving, I can only speak from experience. So far, I've had a positive experience with my company, which is Prime. As you can see it, Prime Inc. I've had a good experience with my company. Not everyone will have my experience, but I've had a relatively good experience. Another company that I'm sure it's probably a good company for women would probably be Knight, Knight, Knight. I think they're pretty good. I'm not sure about all the other companies, but I know when I tried to sign up with Knight, because Knight was my first choice when I first started trying to go back in trucking. Knight was my first choice, and that was they didn't deny me. They didn't have any female trainers, so because they didn't have any female trainers, my application was put on hold. So that tells me that at least for one part, they have consideration for women there, to make sure that they have female trainers, so the women won't have to go out with men on the truck for training. The only other place I can vouch for is Prime. Now, every place has ups and downs, but I've had a good experience, and my experience is based, I guess, primarily on the fact that I don't have a love for money. I'm not greedy. There's a potential to make a lot of money, that's for sure, but I'm not greedy, and even though I do need finances, that's not the primary reason why I'm here. And that's not the only reason why I'm here. I enjoy driving. I've always have. So it's a good experience. You get to see different things. The only thing is, certain states you go to and through, you go to the border of those states and they'll say welcome to whatever state you're going to, and it looks just like the state you just left. There's really not that much difference between certain states. Now, the most beautiful state I've seen so far was Pennsylvania. I get a good feel there. Like, when I drive through Pennsylvania, even though it's really hilly and mountainous, I get a really good, peaceful feeling there. And it's so funny because every state has their little saying when you're going in or coming out of it, on the little state sign. And Pennsylvania's state sign says the state of independence. That fits me. So I may, once I've been doing this for about 2 or 3 months, I may very well relocate myself to Pennsylvania. I think it's one of the most relaxed states I've ever driven through. Even though there's a lot of hilly stuff and Oh, and those who've never traveled outside of your little state that you're in, whatever state that is, this continent is full of mountains and hills, and it's ridiculous, and people are so different in every location of these United States that you go to. Is like being in another country, Now, I'm not trying to come against anyone. I'm really not, because I have friends from everywhere that are every kind of state, but I'm telling you, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, especially Boston, some of all those states, the people just fast, always being fast. And never going anywhere. Always got something to do, but never finishing it. Always in a hurry, always in a rush, but never quite getting it down. Those types of environments are not my forte. I am a California girl. Plain and simple. Just a California girl, okay? I am relaxed. And I don't believe in always rushing. Look, another thing. When you are in your car, okay, and you left your house 10 minutes before you're supposed to get to your location, let's say you're going to work. Let's say on a good clear traffic day, you can get to work in 20 minutes. So let's say you're supposed to be at work at 7:30. On a good clear traffic day, you can leave your house at 7:10 and get to your location perfectly, right? But then you have people who have to be at work at 7:30 and they leave the house at 7:20 and it's rush hour, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon. And while they've done what they did to make themselves late, all the time they're beep, 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 and tailgating you and honking at you and cursing at you for their wrongdoing. Word of advice: if you have an appointment at 7:30, don't leave your house just in time to get to work. Here is a faithful saying: on time is late, 15 minutes is on time. 15 minutes early is on time is late. Because you'll never know what's going to happen during that transition when you're going from your house or your apartment or whatever to your location, your destination where you have to go. That's just a good standard to live by. I lived by that standard even before I did the trucking thing, because when you're a child and you go to public schools and if you're not walking, you're catching the public transportation. You learn how to get to your bus stops about 2 hours before the time you're supposed to actually get there. So if I'm supposed to be at the bus stop at 6:30, if I can be there at 4:30, then that's when I'm going to be there. Because buses break down, buses are cold, traffic accidents, emergencies, you never know what could happen. And so it's always good to think ahead, when you have events where you have time that you have to be there at a specific appointed time. Another thing is when you see a truck, driving, and the truck is going slow on an off ramp, like on an on ramp or off ramp, it might say 45 miles per hour. That is for cars, not for trucks. Also, if you see a street sign, like if I'm driving down the street, let's say I'm in California and I'm driving down Arlington Street or Lincoln Street, and the street sign says 45 miles per hour, that's for cars. That's not for trucks. We have to have our speed limit lower than the speed limit, the posted speed limit on the off ramps and on ramps and driving through cities. We have to be lower. And depending on what kind of freight we have to be careful while we're driving. We can have a very heavy load. Like some people, you don't understand. You really do not understand. It is not a good idea to jump in front of a truck because, I don't want to be behind a truck. Because the truck's too slow. Or because, I can't see. It's not a good idea to cut a truck off from the right or the left. But if you do it from the right, you're in my blind spot and I can't see you. It's not a good thing, especially if you're driving, if people are driving a newer model of truck, like I'm driving a newer model truck, and I have a cruise control. My cruise control has an engine brake. My engine brake and my cruise control work together with this little contraption they have. So if I get within a certain amount of feet, or let's say I'm driving, I always keep traveling distance. So I always have space in between me and the vehicle in front of me. That's just how I've always driven. So I keep that space, that distance, just in case I have to do a, break. But when someone cuts me off, then there's a mechanism in the vehicle, this truck, that slows down automatically because I have the cruise control on and the engine brake on, and that can cause a lot of issues, So that's one thing to think about when you're driving and you don't want to be around a truck. Another thing to think about when you're driving, you don't want to be around a truck, is when you're coming onto traffic, it is not my responsibility or any truck driver's responsibility to get over on the other lane when you're coming into traffic. We are too big and too heavy to be swerving in and out of lanes. If you're coming onto an on-ramp and you're gonna merge into traffic, it is up to you to slow down or speed up according to what you know. Most truck drivers, well, at least I'll talk for myself. If I approach an on-ramp, if I can get over, I do. But lots of times I cannot. And what I usually do is just slow down. And I just go at the same pace that I'm going, because I'm usually going underneath the speed limit. That's just how I drive. So when you're coming onto an on-ramp It is not the responsibility of the person that's already on the highway or interstate or whatever. It is not our responsibility to get over and let you on. It's your responsibility to either accelerate or decelerate, or slow down to get to where you're supposed to go. On time. So yeah, that's about it. This has been a long video. I didn't mean for it to be long. I will just say hey without the shades on. These are not really shades. You know what these are? These are for like when you're driving at night and they have those LED lights and stuff. That's what these are, but I had to back up and the sun's really bright, so I thought, okay, I'll give it a chance, and it worked a little bit, but it's not really for this. So anyway, I think that's about it. I mean, I just wanted to say hey and show myself, because I know I haven't really been showing myself, and like I said, that's primarily due to my skin issues. You know, I still have those skin issues, but I think that they're not getting any worse, so that's a good thing. So anyways, I didn't show you the inside of my truck right now. Look, it's very difficult to keep the inside of your truck clean because you're in a little tiny space, you know. It's a tiny space, so you got it's a tiny space. But I enjoy it though. I enjoy it. You know, this is the best thing. Like I said, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm so happy, and you know, just driving around and making deliveries and things like that, and contributing to safe driving, you know, on the highways or whatever. But hopefully, sometime soon, I will be able to go on my home time and you know, just say bye bye to this pink hair. I'm never doing the pink hair anymore because, you know, I felt kind of weird with it. Well, not really. I just believed that the purple was gonna be at the bottom. So what it is it's purple. It's purple and pink. And so the purple they put in the top and the pink they put on the bottom, which I wanted the purple in the bottom, you know. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, I know I'm being goofy, huh? But yeah, but you know what? It's so great. Really, it really is great. I'm good. I'm ready to go. And it looks like they're ready for me to go. Also, I got an automatic. Okay, let me tell you why. Okay, I'll tell you why. Okay, I prefer driving the 10-speed, the stick 10-speed, you know. But because I leased this truck, and it's basically my business, I thought to myself, what is it that I need to do to generate revenue? You know, because even though I'm not money hungry and I don't have a love for money. In fact, I hate it. I only use money because this is the system in which we live. I don't love money. Somebody had said that to me once, and you know what? Yeah, you're right. I don't love money. I hate it. But it's nice to have, you know, as a tool. And since I see the potential to make a pretty good amount, at least for me, I mean, you know, I mean, some people make lots more than what I've made, you know, but as long as I'm not a negative, I'm fine. So if I just break, oh, thank you.
Emptied out and ready to roll.
All right, thank you.
I laid your load locks on the floor inside the trailer on the driver's side.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Oh, looks like it's time to go. See you later. Bye-bye.